Today, I'm ranking every collab item in Fortnite. There are 94 unique crossovers in this tier list. Some have been very bad, while ones like Godzilla are amazing. Transforming into a giant monster shooting laser beams and obliterating buildings, A tier. Ice Spice's rifle. Looking past the bad live event and cringe POI, the mythics were just copies. It was Sky's gun from chapter 2 with the spicy effect. C tier because it's still a scar. The grappler wasn't much better, especially with the icy feed, but with unlimited charges, it lands at C. Juice WRLD even got his own exotic chug cannon the same season, but it takes up 2 spaces, so B tier. Eminem easily had the best mythic this season, especially when we found out it did this. But come on, it's awesome. A tier. Comparing it to Snoop Dogg's drum gun, it just doesn't hold up. Plus, it's like the 50th time we've gotten a new drum gun in the game, so C tier. Sorry, Snoop. Although the double G bomb was actually pretty good. Instead of a regular boogie bomb, you dropped it like it's hot.
Like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it.
You get bumped up to B for that one. They really dropped an entire Saw collab, and Boo Billy was cool, but then this happened. Armor of Doom. This might be one of the rarest mythics we've ever had, and it was worth it. The animation was insane, and it was basically game over when you got it. Congrats to our first S tier. Iron Man's combat kit. What's better than combining a unibeam and repulsors? You really can't go wrong, so anything less than A would be criminal. It was outshined by his flight kit, being able to literally fly around as Iron Man. It's what we all dreamed of doing back in 2018. S tier all day. Shuri's Black Panther claws. I mean, they were decent for rotating because you could super sprint, but the damage speaks for itself.
Bruh.
I'll throw it in C for mobility. Gwenpool's dual micro SMGs. I mean, the regular version was already good, but Gwenpool's absolutely shredded people. 600 gold though? B tier. When you have an item as ridiculous as the Doom Ultra Armor, picking up a Monarch pistol, it just feels terrible. I'd say most of us just left it on the ground. No one left behind Cap's shield though. Epic straight up gave this aimbot, not to mention you could bounce it off walls and then summon it back to you through builds. We have another S tier just for the pure chaos. Emma Frost's Striker Burst AR. Not gonna lie, this was one of the best guns in years, except she's known for her superpowers, and for her collab to just be an existing gun, kinda lame, C tier. Mysterio could clone himself, but your reward for fighting him is a Sovereign Shotgun, C. War Machine's auto turret. Yeah, this looked good on paper, and the idea of a gun that could kill enemies without you even pressing a button? Decent for zero build, bad for BR. That's another C tier. Don't cast aside War Machine just yet, his other collab items were elite. He had the Arsenal, which was like a non-stop mini RPG, and I'll give this one A before we move on to the Hover Jet. Gotta be the greatest jetpack Fortnite has ever added to the game. Long hover time, an insane amount of fuel, canceling it to drop on people with no fall damage, S tier. So on one end of the season, we had Doom's armor, and the other end had his dinky pistol. Right in the middle, we have Doom's arcane gauntlets. Meant to be a combination of his old mythics, except they totally nerfed him, so I'll give it a B. Nuka-Cola is now in Fortnite. It healed you for 25 HP and 75 shield, not too shabby at all, but other than that, it was basically just a slurp juice, so let's do C for cola here. The Tri-Beam Laser Rifle, a Fallout collab item that you could actually use in a fight. I mean, the original games are full of wacky guns, and yet instead of getting something cool like the Fat Man launcher, Fortnite gave us a laser gun. C tier. Not gonna lie, the ship in a bottle, when you used it correctly, was brutal. It was a massive wrecking ball that could do over 5,000 damage to builds. Problem is, it was huge, people could see it from miles away, and it did like 50 damage to players. The last thing we expected during a Wasteland season was the appearance of Metallica. Actually, it does make sense, but we weren't expecting them to get their own mythic. Ride the Lightning was an electric guitar that was insanely unique. It turned you into a lightning bolt and was good for rotating, so I'll give it a B for coolness. Magneto's power. A lot of fans forgot this even existed, but you could do 95 damage per second. It had 400 HP shield ability and gave you low gravity. Only lasted a few updates before it was vaulted, but this thing is going in A. Welcome to the Avatar Rapid Fire Round. Waterbending. It healed you in water. It was an absolute laser beam. A tier. Airbending was more used as a rotation tool, being more of a vehicle than anything. I'll still give it an A tier. Then we had items like firebending. Somehow you couldn't set anything on fire and it didn't have great damage. C. Earthbending was the worst of them all. Literally no one picked this up and it was vaulted for half the season. Sorry, Toph, you're going in D. Now, it wasn't just Avatar, we also randomly got Chewbacca this season. You would get his mythic Wookiee bowcaster for rescuing him, but it was pretty mid with both its attacks. They actually did it. They gave Peter Griffin a mythic item. Instead of it being anything unique, it was just a hammer pump. It still gets a B though because it was the best shotty of the season. I can't lie, when Solid Snake dropped, there was really only one item they had to make, the mythic cardboard box. Pretty cool, but players never really fell for it, so sorry Snake, it gets an F. He did kind of redeem himself with the EMP stealth camo, arguably one of the best times Fortnite has tried to add invisibility, especially because using it would stun enemies and disable vehicles. At the end of the day though, it is still an invisibility item, and for that, it gets a D grade. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab, they actually went the extra mile with this and added all 4 items for each turtle. We had Leo's katana, where you could chain combos and use double jumps. Then we had Raphael's sai, which were the same, the nunchucks, which were the same, Donatello's staff, which were the same. So yeah, we'll give it a C. At least they brought some pizza to the party, but I'm not even joking, this was basically the same item, but with nerfed health and a turtle logo on it. D. Okay, that last season wasn't the best for collab items, but maybe this will be better. Let's see, we've got Bender's shiny metal ray gun.
You're gonna learn today.
I'm sorry about this, Bender. The Cybertron cannon. Now we're talking. What better way to celebrate Optimus Prime's release than a mythic explosive? And the best part, it's not a reskin. With its solid damage, knockback, mobility, I gotta give it a good rank. Wanna go A here? It did only have 2 charges, so it gets a strong B. Todoroki's Ice Wall. This is one of those rare Fortnite items that is made entirely for defending yourself. So in build mode, you never really needed it. Although for zero build, it was pretty good. Let's go C. I bet a lot of you totally forgot the hollow purple existed. It was part of the Jujutsu Kaisen collab, and yet it was a remake of a previous anime mythic. It worked just like Deku Smash, leading fans to think, wait a second, these 2 completely different animes are being recycled, so D. As for the other JJK item, the straw doll technique was kinda similar to the paper kunai, but all of that was undone by the fact it only had 3 charges and did no damage, straight down to F. Attack on Titan's ODM gear, not gonna lie, one of the best mobility items we've ever seen. Some even say this is better than Spidey's web shooters because you could attack. I have to put this in S tier, they were cooking. Sort of a shame about the Thunder Spears though, cool idea, but on their own, no one really used them, so D tier. Force abilities, alright, let's start off with Push, the best of them all. It was so fun to use that most of the time the end game was just people pushing each other into the storm, so A. Throwing, it was pretty cool to launch rocks at people, not gonna lie. Let's go B for this one. As for Force Pull, oof, this was a way to grab enemies towards you, but it had no damage, straight F. DC-15 blaster rifle was also pretty bad, although it turned from an F to a D all thanks to the higher damage. Deku Smash, you know how earlier I called the hollow purple a ripoff of this? That's because this was so good. Most of us would probably lean S tier, and that's until you realize how easy it was to get shot while using it. I'll still give it an A. I bet you weren't expecting the Kid Leroy's Sunburst Gauntlet on here, but hey, it still counts, and if we're being honest, let's just keep it at that. The Chrome season had a lot of problems, so you probably forgot about its single collab item, and it was in the Cypher PK Cup. It was the Trap Tower, a throwback to Cypher's classic build that trolled enemies. I put this higher, but the fact it was exclusive to a single tournament loses points. Still a solid C though. Now it's time for Dragon Ball and its mythic Nimbus Cloud. Who doesn't love canceling this and one-pumping enemies from the sky? But 20-second cooldown and the fact it was identical to Silver Surfer's board, let's go B. Now, Dragon Ball also gave us the Kamehameha. I love it because it was also the downfall of other Fortnite YouTubers.
This player tried to Kamehameha me.
What did he say?
10 objects with a single Kamehameha attack.
So we all know the Kamiyamama.
For the pure chaos, we are going S tier. Another thing you probably forgot about was the existence of Nathan Drake's map. Probably because no one really cared about a reskin treasure map. Darth Vader's lightsaber. They took an already solid item and let you throw it. Who doesn't love that? A all day. Weird fact, but we went 2 entire seasons and only 1 collab item was introduced in that time, Spider-Man's web shooters. It was so good that Fortnite didn't want to take it away, so they turned it into a grapple glove once the season was over. Easily the most S tier item on the list. Venom and Carnage showed up out of nowhere with insane items, letting you grab people through builds and just eliminate them. High up in the A tier. The Paper Bomb Kunai. Did you know that this was actually the first mythic that you could buy from an NPC? Very cool fact, considering no one ever wanted to buy buy it. F. The collab season. You'd think we get plenty of items, but no, most of them belong to the Mandalorian. Like the Ambit sniper rifle was pretty bad as far as snipers go. It had weird fall off, and the thermal was a novelty. In fact, it was only good as a melee item. As for his jetpack, you had to wipe out the Mando boss, and it was the first time jetpacks could actually stay in place while you aimed your gun. Pretty solid. E11 blaster rifle, well, I think we already established that these are not that great. Neither are invisibility items, including the most iconic of all, Predator's cloaking device. Gotta say, if this is what Predator was using to hunt down people, he would have lasted like 2 seconds before getting one pumped. Instant F. We have another cup mythic. This time around, we had Laser Beam's Flight Knock pistol. You could send people and yourself flying across the island, but again, why was this just part of a tournament? We'll love to use this more Fortnite because now I gotta put it in B. The classic Marvel season truly innovated what collab mythics could be. There are so many superpowers like She-Hulk's fists, which were fun to use, but not as powerful as fans wanted. At least we had Wolverine's claws, letting you spin attack and regenerate health. Easily an A-tier item, but sadly, not all of them were instant hits. Black Panther only brought kinetic armor to the game, which was just a way to give yourself temporary shield for like 5 seconds. Usually, I put this low, but then the armor would explode and knock people back. That part was pretty cool, so let's go with D. As for the Stark Industries rifle, it kinda gives me the same vibes as the Star Wars blasters, which is making me wanna put it low, but it did have way better accuracy and great damage, so I'm honestly thinking B for this. His jetpack, that's a different story. It was just a reskin version of the normal jetpack, and to make it worse, when fuel ran out, you took fall damage. I'm sorry, this is going into D. The Galactus Gorger Gatherer drone. Just straight up nope. I'm creating a whole new tier for this. You're going in fracture, buddy. Storm's Whirlwind Blast. Great for builds, terrible for players. Basically a mythic impulse grenade, so I gotta go D for this one. I mean, man, these Marvel items kinda sucked looking back on it, but wait, what is this beautiful gift from the heavens? So, the euphoria of that didn't last long, considering now I have to grade Groot's Bramble Shield. Let's be honest here, if this thing didn't glitch and send players out of the map, no one would remember it. It's the very definition of C tier. Oh, and Silver Surfer's board? Well, if I put Nimbus Cloud in B, I guess I gotta stay consistent here. Aha! Some Doom mythics that aren't total garbage. The old Arcane Gauntlets were even better than his updated ones. Fortnite really had these in the wild with no cooldown and an air boost, solidifying it in A. There was his other ability, the Mystical Bomb, and well, I kind of might have set myself on fire with this a few times by accident, and I'm still not over it. You're getting B, buddy. We were all waiting to hear about Thor's superpower. Surely they would let us walk around with Mjolnir, striking people down with it. Well, that's until you realize it was a glorified junk riff. Come on, guys, I really didn't want to give this a C, but I have to. Same reason I'm giving the OG Venom Mythic a C. It's just kind of disappointing compared to the potential, especially knowing what this would eventually become. You guys might be thinking that Deadpool's hand cannons were awesome. Who doesn't like dual deagles? Clearly Epic doesn't because they didn't do these justice at all. D tier. Ooh, the Kingsman umbrella. Let's be honest here, 80% of you watching this never even got to use this thing, and Fortnite never acknowledged it even existed. But based on the cool vibes alone, you get a B. Who doesn't love lightsabers? A. But another blaster rifle? Fortnite, just please stop. We're getting closer to the earlier Fortnite seasons, and the collabs become a little more meaningful because there weren't many of them. Take Batman, for example. Not only did this guy get an entire tilted POI, Fortnite also gave him a grapnel gun that felt straight out of the Arkham games. Let's go A for Arkham. And it's explosive. I really don't want to put this in B for Batarang, but okay, I'm slightly putting it here because of that. Borderlands is here, and they brought a cash item. Can't wait to be rich in Fortnite. I'm gonna buy so much stuff, but wait, you can't buy anything? It has no function at all? Now we're getting real OG, and it was at this time Fortnite introduced the first ever Marvel Mythics. How about another quick fire round? Buried Treasure, literally just a way to get items. D. Stormbreaker. Now this is how you make a Thor Mythic. A. Hawkeye's bow, surprisingly more interesting than the superhero it's based on. A. Chitauri jetpack, who cares? D. Energy rifle, get out of here. I kind of forgot they had an energy launcher too. I mean, no one really dreams about playing as the Chitauri, but it does get a B. May I present to you, dun, 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 the Infinity Blade, a mythic so powerful that it caused people to quit Fortnite, and it's all because Epic wanted to collab with themselves. Lesson learned, I guess. We'll give it an A for how busted it was. What was the first ever collab item? That's the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's still the most sought after one to this day. Just showing the old gameplay of this, I bet you're twitching, desperate to get your hands on it. I mean, how fun does this look? And you probably won't ever get to use it. We throw this in super high in S tier to complete our list of Fortnite's collab items. But one last thing. All right, now that is better.